हासयक्षितवाम सुप्तैः कृतात्मनोरित प्राणांश भक्तिर् अनेचतो मे गतिमन्विं प्रयुक्ते.
Upon seeing the charming forms of the Lord, smiling and attractive, and hearing his very pleasing words, the pure devotee almost loses all other consciousness. His senses are freed from all other engagements, and he becomes absorbed in devotional service. Thus, in spite of his unwillingness, he attains liberation without separate endeavor.
37. अथो विभूतिं मम माया निवस्ताम् ऐश्वर्यम् अष्टाङ्गम् अनुप्रवृत्तम् श्रियं भागवतीं वस्पृहयन्ति भद्राम् परस्य मेते विष्णुवते तु लोके.
Thus, because he is completely absorbed in thought of me, the devotee does not desire even the highest benediction obtainable in the upper planetary systems, including Satyaloka. He does not desire the 8 material perfections obtained from the mystic yoga, nor does he desire to be elevated to the kingdom of God. Yet, even without desiring them, the devotee enjoys, even in this life, all the offered benedictions.
38. नाकर्हि चिन्मत् पराहसान्तरूपे नाक्ष्यन्ति नो मे निमिषो लेभिहैतिः येषामहं प्रिय आत्मा सुताश्च सखा गुरुः सुहृदो दैवमिष्टम्.
The Lord continued, "My dear mother, devotees who receive such transcendental opulences are never bereft of them. Neither weapons nor the change of time can destroy such opulences. Because the devotees accept me as their friend, their relative, their son, their preceptor, benefactor, and supreme deity, they cannot be deprived of their possessions at any time."
39 and 40. आत्मानं मनुयेच्छेह ये रायः पशवो गृहाः विसृज्य सर्वान् अन्यांश्च मामेवं विश्वतो मुखं भजन्ति अनन्यया भक्त्या तान् मृत्योरतिपारये.
Thus, the devotee who worships me, the all-pervading Lord of the universe, in unflinching devotional service, gives up all aspirations to be promoted to heavenly planets or to become happy in this world with wealth, children, cattle, home, or anything in relationship with the body. I take him to the other side of birth and death.
That's 41. नन्यात्र मद्भागवतः प्रधानपुरुषेश्वरात् आत्मनः सर्वभूतानां भयं तीव्रं निवर्तते.
The terrible fear of birth and death can never be forsaken by anyone who resorts to any shelter other than myself, for I am the Almighty Lord, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the original source of all creation, and also the supreme soul of all souls.
Text 42. मद्भयात् भाति वातोऽयं सूर्य तपति मद्भयात् वर्षातीन्द्रो दहति अग्निर्मृत्युश्चरति मद्भयात्.
It is because of my supremacy that the wind blows. Out of fear of me, the sun shines. Out of fear of me, and the sun shines out of fear of me. And the Lord of the clouds, Indra, sends forth showers out of fear of me. Fire burns out of fear of me. And death goes about taking its toll out of fear of me.
That's 43. ज्ञानवैराग्ययुक्तेन भक्तियोगेन योगिनः क्षमाय पादमूलं मे प्रविशन्त्य अकुतो भयम्.
The yogis, equipped with transcendental knowledge and renunciation and engaged in devotional service for their eternal benefit, take shelter of my lotus feet. And since I am the Lord, they are thus eligible to enter into the kingdom of Godhead without fear.
Text 44. एतावान् एव लोकेऽस्मिन् पुंसां निःश्रेय सोधयः तीव्रेण भक्तियोगेन मनोमयि अर्पितं स्थिरम्.
Therefore, persons whose minds are fixed on the Lord engage in the intensive practice of devotional service. That is the only means for attainment of the final perfection of life.
Om Tat Sat. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Thank you, Mataji. Thank you for giving me opportunity. You know, I have to leave for the classes. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji. So beautiful recitations. Thank you so much. Okay, thank you so much, dear devotees, for kindly joining this evening to hear Srimad Bhagavatam and also giving this opportunity to hear. Okay, so we shall start with our Mangalacharan prayers before we enter into Srimad Bhagavatam. Om अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपः कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम्। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांशां श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगणरघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगणललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश। हे कृष्ण करुणसिन्धो दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिकान्त राधाकान्त नमोऽस्तु ते। तप्तकाञ्चन गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपासिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। नमो ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिविकासस्वामिन् इति नामिने। नमो ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामिन् इति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वतीदेवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषशून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। शृणुतां स्वकथाः कृष्णः पुण्यश्रवणकीर्तनः हृद्यन्तस्त्वह्य भद्राणि विदुनोति सुहृसतां। नष्टप्रायेषु भद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवदुत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी। इदं भा एते चांशकलाः पुंसः कृष्णस्तु भगवान् स्वयम् इन्द्रारिव्याकुलं लोकं मृडयन्ति युगे युगे। इदं भागवतं नाम पुराणं ब्रह्मसंहितम् उत्तमश्लोकचरितं चकार भगवान् ऋषिः निःश्रेयसाय लोकधन्यं स्वस्तये नमः। कृष्णे सुदामोपगते धर्मध्यानादिभिः सह खलु न षडुषामेषा पुराणार्को अधुनोदितः। कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकी नन्दनाय च नन्दगोपकुमाराय गोविन्दाय नमो नमः। नमः पङ्कजनाभाय नमः पङ्कजमालिने नमः पङ्कजनेत्राय नमस्ते पङ्कजाङ्घ्रये। अथ विश्वेश विश्वात्मन् विश्वमूर्तिस्वकेषु मे स्नेहपाशम् इमं चिन्ति दृढं पाण्डुषु विष्णुषु त्वयिमेनन्य विषयमतिर्मदपति असकृत् रतिमुद्वाहत गङ्गवघुमुदन्वति श्रीकृष्ण कृष्ण सख विष्णुष्भावनिधृग्राजन्युवंशिदहनान् अपवर्गवीर्य गोविन्द गोद्विजसुरात्यहरावतार योगेश्वर किल गुरो भगवन् नमस्ते योगेश्वर किल गुरो भगवन् नमस्ते योगेश्वर किल गुरो भगवन् नमस्ते तुलयामलवेनापि न स्वर्गं न अपुनर्भवं भगवत्सङ्गसङ्गस्य मच्चानं किमुत शिशः पुनश्च भूयाद् भगवत्यनन्ते रतिः प्रसङ्गाश्च तदा श्रेयेषु महस्तु यां याम् उपयामि सृष्टिं मैत्रस्य सर्वत्र नमोद्विजेभ्यः ॐ नमो महावदन्याय कृष्णप्रेमाप्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्णचैतन्यनाम्ने गौरत्विषे नमः मूकं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे परमानन्दमाधवं श्रीगुरुं दीनतारिणं श्रीकृष्णचैतन्यमीश्वरं श्रीचैतन्यप्रभुं वन्दे बालोऽपि यदनुग्रहात् तरेणानमतग्राह व्याप्तं सिद्धान्तसागरं श्रीचैतन्यप्रभुं वन्दे यत्पादाश्रीविदितः सङ्गृह्णाति आकृर्वात अद्य सिद्धान्तसन्मनीम् ॐ नमो भगवते राधा गोविन्दाय नमः हरे कृष्ण thank you so much for kindly waiting okay we shall enter into Srimad Bhagavatam I shall share my screen okay Srimad Bhagavatam So Srimad Bhagavatam, it is third canto, chapter 25. It is glories of devotional service. So it is describing by Kapil Bhagavan to Devhuti Mata. So Devhuti Mata, so it started like when she was not able to feel the separation from her husband and her senses are being disturbed her. And then she approached Kapil Bhagavan, and then Kapil Bhagavan started. He was pleased with his mother because she is asking Nishimya Pumsam Apavargavardhanam, a path which is desired by the people Apavargavardhanam, who wanted to free themselves from the material entanglement. And Diya Abhinanja Atmavatam Satogatihi. So he was Diya Abhinanja, he was appreciating her for asking such kind of exalted questions. But this comes when people are in the mostly in the difficult times, hard times. That's why Kunti Mata was asking, so please give me that Vipada Santuhataha Shashvat Tatra Tatra Jagat Guru Bhavato Darshanam Yasyat Apunarbhava Darshanam. But when we are having good, comfortable environment, the mood to execute devotional service that would not sprout in the heart. So there should be some kind of impetus is needed to start the devotional service. It is the same case. Whatever the devotee we take in this world, they have got some impetus, some hard time. Some people naturally, because in the previous life they have already gone those pastimes, in the next life they may take birth in the devotee's family and then they execute. Okay, so but it starts from the hard times to analyze who am I, why I'm going through all this. So likewise, Devhuti Mata was asking, and Kapil Bhagavan described that yoga jatmika pumsam mato nishre saimiku achantu uprati yatra dukkasya cha sukasya cha, when he has to come out, elevate himself from the pains and pleasures of this material world, which are of temporary nature. So that is the main. And then he described all about the spirit soul, and then how one can elevate in the devotees of association of the devotees, and what is the qualities of the devotees. And then after saying that asevyayam prakrutir gunanam yoge jnanena vairagya vijrumbitena yogena mai arpitaya cha bhaktya mam pratyagatmanam ihavarunde. So one would attain Jivan Mukta, though while he is living, he will be completely freed from all kinds of material entanglements. He will live in such a conditions. That is, Mam Pratyagatmanam Iha Avarunde. After saying that, Devahuti Mata is asking more. Is that much easier? So can you please Kati Tvai Uchta Bhaktihi Kidrushi Mama Gochara Yaya Padamte Nirvanam Anjasa Anvashnava Aham. Is that much easy? Can you please describe me all those things? Yo yoga bhagadbhano nirvana atman tvayoditaha kidrushaha katich anghani yataha tattva avabodhanam. What are the different kinds of paths? So in such a way, she was asking, and also she was asking, I'm a woman, I'm less intelligent, in a humble and submissive mode. So this is the nature of the pure devotees. They're always asking in some humble and submissive mode. So tadyetanmi vijanihi yataham mandidhir hare and sukum buddhe durbodham yosha bhaudanagrahat. I am just a woman, so please describe in such a way, even the difficult subject also, I can understand so easily in such a way. Yosha bhaudanagrahat, by your mercy. Likewise, she mentioned to Kapil Bhagwan. Again, Kapil Bhagwan describing like how one can control the senses. Devanam gunalinganam anushrivika karmanam sattva evaiko manuso वृत्ति स्वाभाविकितुया अनिमित्ता bhagavati gatihi siddher gariyasi. So when he engages all his senses in the devotional service, automatically he will be freed from material entanglement. Jarayati yasu yakosham nigednam manalo yatha. Even subtle body will be digested automatically. The no more material mind, material intelligence, material ego. No, they do not exist, and material consciousness. Everything will be purified. You will be in the spiritual nature. How it can be attained? Then he says the steps of the devotees, like Naikatmatami spurhyante kechin matpada seva abhirata madihaham. Yo anyonyata bhagavataha prasadhya sabhadayante mama paurushani. The first step, the devotees do not want to merge themselves in the Brahma Jyoti. Naikata na ekatmatami spurhyante kechin. They do not desire at any point of time to merge themselves in the Brahman Jyoti or to one with the Lord. Instead, yo anyonyata bhagavataha prasadhya sabhadayante mama paurushani. As Lord said in the Bhagavad Gita, my devotees always, they stood together, they'll take the instructions of the Lord and execute the devotional service. In yo anyonyata bhagavataha prasadhya, in a cooperating way. They will discuss Sabhadayante Mama Paurushani. They describe the glories of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And then they wanted Tai Darshini Avayavaihi Udhara Vilasaha Sekshita Vilasahasa Ikshita Vama Suktaihi Pratatmanuhuta Pranam Shabhaktihi Anichito Me Gatim Anviyam Prayinte. By looking at the Lord, Tai Darshini Avayavaihi Udhara, beautiful limbs of the Lord. All his Lord is so beautiful. Tarunam Ramaniyangam Aruneshtekshanaadharam Pranatashrayanam Brahmnam Sharanyam Karunarnavam. Narada Muni says, Tarunam Ramaniyangam. So in such a kind of beautiful parts of the Lord, devotees they glorify. Tai Darshniya Avayavaihi Udhara Vilasaha Sekshita Vamasuptaihi. And Lord speaks very beautiful Vamasuptaihi. Vilasa Hasa Ikshita, he is smilings and glarings. Okay, in such a way, devotees, Krutatmana Huta Pranam Bhaktihi, they will lose all of their heart to Krishna. Anichito me gatim anviyam prayinte. In such a way, they will attain the perfection of human life without separate endeavor. Without separate endeavor. So when we were children, when we go to the hospital, doctor, when we get a fever, they wanted to inject. But doctor, by smilingly and then talking and putting a small stories, and then in the backside, they will do some injection. So by that time, without knowing to ourselves, that medicine gone into the body. In such a way, when we execute devotional service, without much separate endeavor, we get perfection of human life. So likewise, here Kapil Bhagavan is describing and Ato Vibhuti Mama Mahayavinastam Aishwaryamastangam Anupravrittam Shrim Bhagavatim was Pruhanti Badram Parasemeti Asnuvote to Loke. And they do not even desire to have Aishwaryas. Aishwaryam Astangam Anupravrittam Shriyam Bhagavatim Vaspruhanti Bhadram. Even though they do not desire, but automatically they will also experience all those happiness while they engage in themselves in the devotional service. After saying that, he says, "Na karishit mat paraha shanturupe nakshanti nomi animisho ledi hetihi. Yesha maham priya atma sutasya saka guruhu suhrudu daivamishtam." And my dear mother, the relationships that devotees establish with me, that will never ever be destroyed. It is always there. It is permanent and eternal. So Krishna says, "Na karihit mat paraha shantarupe nakshanti nomi animesho ledi hetihi." This is the relationship one has to establish. It comes like a sambandha abhideya prayojana. And there is again Madan Mohan and Madan Mohan ji, Govind ji, and in the Vrindavan there are three principal deities, where each deity describes Sambandha, Abhideya, Prayojana, Gopinath. So Madan Mohan, Govind ji, and then Gopinath. Sambandha, Abhideya, Prayojana. In such a way, one establishes the relationship with the Supreme Personality of Godhead and engages himself. What are the relationships? Yesham Aham Priya Atma Sutasha, a lover, a dearer friend, Atma Sutasha, a child, Saka, a friend, Guruhu, a spiritual master, Suhrudo, a well-wisher, Daivam, and the Supreme Lord, Ishtam. So in such a way, devotees establish. And then further, he also mentions about the devotees, how they are, in what mode they will be completely easily cross the material signs. So that is the shloka, it covers 39 and 40 shlokas. So here he says that when people have desires, I want you to enjoy in this world and also the next world, in both. In this world and next world. So they have got aspirations. Even a devotee would renounce such kind of thoughts completely. And who surrenders to Krishna, and those devotees will be easily crossed. Lord will make them to cross very easily. Likewise, in this shloka, it is another version of Sarvadharman Parityajya Mam Ekam Saranam Raja Aham Tvam Sarva Papebhyo Mokshishyami Ma Suchaha. So likewise, this is version of Kapil Bhagavan. Imam lokam tataiva amum atmanam upayayinam atmanam anuye cha iha ye rayah pasho grahaha visrujya sarvan anyamsha mam evam vishvato mukam bhajanti ananya bhaktya tan mrityu atiparaye. I will make them cross very easily. Atiparaye. So this is Kapil Bhagavan is saying, Imam lokam tataiva amum. Imam lokam, in this material world, tataiva, after that, amum, the next birth. So once I leave this body, I also wanted to enjoy the next level, next body. So atmanam ubhayayinam, and for them, ubhayayinam. Ubhayayinam is the body, and also, what is that? Ubhayayinam, in both. Ayinam is traveling, Atmanam, the subtle body and also the body. Ubhayayinam, traveling both. Atmanam, the body. Anuyecha, and also Anu, in relationship, Yecha, those who, Iha, in this world. Anuyecha, Ye Rayaha Pashvo Gruhaha, and all the wealth which is available here in this world. And also Rayaha Pashavaha, cattle, Gruhaha, houses, cattle like the horses, elephants, such kind of good kingdom, all opulent kingdom, Rayaha. Rayaha Pashvo Graha. So these are the thoughts of generally people. And here Lord says, Visrujya Sarvan, and leaving all those things, such kind of aspirations. Leaving all such kind of aspirations. Visrujya Sarvan, Anyamsha. Anyamsha is other, and Mamevam Vishvato Mukam, and only unto me, Vishvato Mukam, the all-pervading Lord of the universe. Mamevam Vishvato Mukam, Bhajanti Ananya Bhaktya, whoever is engaging themselves in the devotional service unto me, Ananya Bhaktya, unflinching devotional service. Bhajanti Ananya Bhaktya, Tan Murtyo Atiparaye, I will make them to cross this Murtyo very easily. So Tan them, Mrityoho of death, Atipari, I take to the other side. Okay, so this is very beautiful shloka. Imam lokum tataiva amum atmanam ubayayinam atmanam anuyecha iha ye rayah pashvogruhaha visrujya sarvananyamsha mam yevam vishvato mukam bhajanti ananya bhaktya tan mrityo atiparaye. The translation. So thus, the devotee who worships me, the all-pervading Lord of the universe, in unflinching devotional service, gives up all aspirations to be promoted to heavenly planets or to become happy in this world with wealth, children, cattle, home, or anything in relationship with the body. I take him to other side of the birth and death. Okay, so this is the version of Sarva Dharman Parityajya Mam Ekam Saranam Vraja. Okay, that shloka here. Okay, purport by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. There are 3 paragraphs. Okay, can I request 5 devotees, in fact. First devotee read first paragraph. The second devotee is going to read up to half of the second paragraph, and third devotee next half, and then third paragraph also we divide it into 2 sections and allocate to 2 devotees. Okay, totally 5 devotees.
May I please, Prabhuji?
Yes, Mataji, first paragraph, please.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Hare Krishna. Purport. Unflinching devotional service, as described in these 2 verses, means engaging oneself in full Krishna consciousness or devotional service, accepting the Supreme Lord as all in all. Since the Supreme Lord is all-inclusive, if anyone worships him with unflinching faith, he has automatically achieved all other opulences and performed all other duties. The Lord promises herein that he takes his devotee to the other side of birth and death. Lord Chaitanya therefore recommended that one who aspires to go beyond birth and death should have no material possessions. This means that one should not try to be happy in this world or to be promoted to the heavenly world, nor should he try for material wealth, children, houses, or cattle. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. Can I request the devotee to read until? Okay.
May I read it, Prabhuji?
Yes, Mataji, please.
Hare Krishna. How liberation is imperfectly achieved by pure devotee and what the symptoms are have been explained. For the conditional soul, there is a 2 status of living. One status is in the present life and the other is our preparation for the next life. If I am in the mode of goodness, then I may be preparing for promotion to the higher planets. And if I am in the mode of passion, then I shall remain here in the society where activities is very prominent. And if I am in the mode of ignorance, I may be degraded to animal life or in a lower grade of human life. But for a devotee, there is no concern for this life or the next life, because in any life he does not desire elevation in material prosperity or a higher grade or low grade life. He prays to the Lord, "My dear Lord, it does not matter where I am born, but let me born even as an ant in the house of a devotee." Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji. Very nicely read. Can we gather devotee, please?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. May I read?
Yes, Mataji, please.
Hare Krishna. A pure devotee does not pray to the Lord for liberation from this material bondage. Actually, the pure devotee never thinks that he is fit for liberation. Considering his past life and his mischievous activities, he thinks that he is fit to be sent to the lowest region of hell. If in this life I am trying to become a devotee, this does not mean that in my many past lives I was 100% pious. That is not possible. A devotee is therefore always conscious of his real position. Only by his full surrender to the Lord, by the Lord's grace, are his suffering made shorter. As stated in the Bhagavad Gita, surrender unto me, and I will give you protection for all kinds of sinful reaction. That is his mercy. But this does not mean that one who has surrendered to the lotus feet of the Lord has committed no misdeeds in his past life. A devotee always prays, "For my misdeeds may I be born again and again, but my only prayer is that I may not forget your service." The devotee has that much mental strength, and he prays to the Lord, "May I be born again and again, but let me be born in the home of your pure devotee so that I may again get a chance to develop myself." Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji. Okay, can I request the devotee to take it and to read up to here, please?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yes, Mataji.
Thank you, Prabhuji. A pure devotee is not anxious to elevate himself in his next birth. He has already given up that sort of hope. In any life in which one is born as a householder or even as an animal, one must have some children, some resources, or some possessions. But a devotee is not anxious to possess anything. He is satisfied with whatever is obtainable by God's grace. He is not at all attached to improving his social status or improving the status of education of his children. He is not neglectful. He is dutiful. But he does not spend too much time on the upliftment of temporary household or social life. He fully engages in the service of the Lord, and for other affairs, he simply spares as much time as absolutely necessary. Yathartham upayunjataha. Such a pure devotee does not care for what is going to happen in the next life or in this life. He does not care even for family, children, or society. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you.
Thank you, Mataji. Okay, can I request the devotee to take a read the rest of it, please?
Hare Krishna, may I?
Yes, Mataji, please.
Hare Krishna. He fully engages in the service of the Lord in Krishna consciousness. It is stated in Bhagavad Gita that without the knowledge of the devotee, the Lord arranges for him to be immediately transferred to the Lord's transcendental abode just after he leaves his body. After quitting his body, he does not go into the womb of another mother. The ordinary common living entity after death is transferred to the womb of another mother according to his karma or activities to take another type of body. But as far as the devotee is concerned, he is at once transferred to the spiritual world in the association of the Lord. That is the Lord's special mercy. How it is possible is explained in the following verses. Because he is all-powerful, the Lord can do anything and everything. He can excuse all sinful reactions. He can immediately transfer a person to Vaikuntha Loka. That is the inconceivable power of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is favorably disposed to the pure devotees. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji. And thank you all, dear devotees, for kindly reading. It's so beautiful purport. It's a large, but it is very nice. So in this purport, Srila Prabhupada is describing unflinching devotional service as described in these two verses. means engaging oneself in full Krishna consciousness or devotional service, accepting the Supreme Lord as all in all. This is complete Ado Shraddha. It is Shraddha. So Krishna says, Tasma sarveshu kaleshu mam anusmar ijjacha mayarpita manobuddhir mam ye vaishasi asamsayaha tad buddhayaha tannishtaha tadatmanaha tatparayanaha gachanti apunaravrittim jnanidhuta kalmashaha, completely purified. Tannishtaha tad buddhayaha tannishtaha tatparayanaha tadatmanaha. So Krishna says all these statements. Nishtaha, this is unflinching, complete nishta. It requires complete nishta. So in such a way, a devotional service accepting the Supreme Lord as all in all, there is nothing else. Sarva dharman parityajya. Again, Krishna says, and manmana bhav bhakto madhyaji mam namaskuru mam yevasasi yuktaivam atmanam matparayanaha. Atmanu matparayanaha. One should only be matparayana, not someone's parayana. So since the Supreme Lord is all-inclusive, if anyone worships him with unflinching faith, he has automatically achieved all other opulences and performed all other duties. So that means, for example, I am looking for employment. If the king become my relative somewhere or other, if I render some service, first of all, how do I become a relative of king? First, I do not do anything in a reciprocative, but with love when I do it, king will be very pleased and he will make me to come to his palace. And then still I am keep carrying on serving him very nicely. I do not have to look for my employment and my clothes, food and everything else, shelter. In such a way here, when we do the similar thing to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, then why do I have to worry about anything else? Ananya Sintayanto Mam Ye Jana Paryupasate. Can anyone say that one?
अनन्याश्चिन्तयन्तो मां ये जना पर्युपासते तेषां नित्याभियुक्तानां योगक्षेमं वहाम्यहम्.
Very beautiful. Thank you, Mataji. Lord will take care of. He will preserve what he has and he will help him. So in such a way, he has automatically achieved all other opulences and performed all other duties. This is again, Devhuti Mata say, she convicts herself that about the Supreme Personality of Godhead and his glories. Aho bata sopacho ato dhariyan yad jihvagre vattate nam tubhyam te pustapaste juhuhu sasnurarya brahman churnama grunanti yete. They have, whoever is chanting, Yajjihvagre Vattate Nam Tubhyam, whose tongue is chanting the glories of your names, your pastimes. Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Yajjihvagre Vattate Nam Tubhyam, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. They are all, they have already completed all the sacrifices, all the charities, all kinds of yajna, dana, tapaha, karma, everything already. Likewise, Devhuti Mata convicts at the end. That is the last sloka of her prayers. Aho bata sopacho ato gariyan, sopacho ato gariyan. Even the Chandal also become elevated. Ato gariyan, yajjipagre vattate namatubhyam. Te pustapaste juhuhu sasnurarya. Brahmanu churnam grunanti yete. So there are many other things like that. And then the Lord here, that means he has performed all other duties. The Lord promises herein that he takes his devotees to the other side of the birth and death. So there is one of the beautiful pastime in the Ramayana time when Rama and Sita, Lakshmana, they have gone to the forest exile. Sumantra has taken them and Guha was taking them to cross the Ganges river to just move them into the forest. So there is one beautiful song comes that first of all, in order to wash the feet of Ramachandra, so he was washing, and then they were thinking why he is washing my feet instead of going to, then by touching your lotus feet, Ahalya became again she was restored to her original position. Now, if you put your leg in my boat, I do not know what happens to my boat. And then this is devotional and loving way at exchanging the feelings with the Lord. And then he washes the feet of the Lord Ramchandra, and everyone, Ramchandra is smiling, very gently smiling, and taking that water, sprinkling on top of all of their friends and families, everyone. And then later on, again in the loving mood, Ramchandra, Sita Mata, and Lakshmana, they will go to the boat, and then he was singing a song, Oh my dear Lord. Now, generally, I am crossing this one, I'm making you to cross this river, but because please remember that. So later on, when my time comes, the death, so you can cross me from this materialness signs, the death. Tam mrityu atiparaye. So this is when we have got loving exchanges. So Guha is a very dear friend of Ramachandra. Okay, likewise, even the Sugriva later on, one has to make the relationship with the Lord. So here, Lord promises here in that he takes the devotee to the other side of the birth and death. Lord Chaitanya therefore recommended that one who aspires to go beyond birth and death should have no material possessions. So this is very, very important. If you are going from, for example, I'm going to walk for 10 kilometers. If I have got 100 kilos of weight, then it will be, my travel becomes so burden. And also we need to understand, when we go in a subtle body, it cannot take any of material things. It is so subtle. Not even the mind and the spiritual body. Spiritual body is not related to the material world at all. It is again Krishna says, Apare mitasvanyam vidhime param prakritim jiva bhota mahabaho yedam dharite jagat. They come here and carrying this subtle body on top of this another lump of material body, which is always smelling unless we take bath. It is always smelly and dirty. In a different, one would disgust his body himself itself at one particular point of time. Okay, so it gives so many, but initially people may be just nicely decorating and doing makeups and all those things, posing themselves. But later on, the same body will be very burdened to himself. So that is a possession. Yata putra chivittacha pratakmatyaha pratiyete. Again, Kapila Bhagavan later on here says that one. Like we have got yata putra chivittacha. We have got money, house, wealth, and everything. Likewise, body is also one of it. It is not ourself, it is one of it. Api atmatven abhimatad dehadehe purushastadha. Likewise, Kapil Bhagavan also mentions in describing the material body is also one of the set of a spirit soul, and also mind intelligence, the yapo, kosham. These are all will be digested by the strength of the unflinching devotional service. This is here Kapil Bhagavan says this is Ananya Bhakti. This is Mat Krutya Chakta Karmanaha Chakta Vijana Bandhavaha. For my sake, they will leave all of their personal activities. They will leave even the family. Mat Krutya Chakta Karmaha Chakta Swajana Bandhavaha. Even the relatives as well. Sometimes we may think that, oh, my family may think that I need to spend time with them. Yes, sometimes, yes, it is needed. As long as one is following the Vedic injunctions, it is required. But here, Lord is going beyond that. So Krishna consciousness is beyond that. It has to, this is called, when we say Purusharthas, Chaturvida Purusharthas, Dharmartha, Kama, Moksha, but devotional service, the fifth one. Devotional service, it's beyond Moksha. For that one, it needs to be renounced everything of material possessions. It should not have any material possessions. Here, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says. Okay, this means that one should not try to be happy in this world or to be promoted to the heavenly world, nor should he try for material wealth, children, houses, or cattle. So again, Kapil Bhagavan says in the living guilt and these karmic activities, Gruheshu kotatantreshu dukkatantreshu atindritaha. Gruheshu kotatantreshu, by so many plants, kotatantreshu, Gruheshu kotatantreshu, they will bring so many of plants, kurvan dukkha pratikaram, sukvan manyite gruhe, and they will try to resolve each pain, and they think that they are happy. But it is not the happiness in their life, they do not see any happy, but they try to counteract the pain, and they think that kurvan dukkha pratikaram, kurvan sukvan manyite gruhe, he thinks that I am very happy. So this is the nature of the living entities here. Atmajaya Sutagar Pasudravina Bandhushu Niroda Mola Pradaya Atmanu Bahumanyate. He thinks that I have got this family and children, houses, cattle, and everything. These are I'm very comfortable. This is Niroda Mola Pradayam. Niroda, it is deeply rooted in the heart, but that needs to be cut. How it needs to be cut? This is by executing the staunch devotionals, unflinching devotional service. So this is Matkrute Chakta Karmanaha, Chakta Swajana Bandhavaha, but gradually, but stick to your duty. Do not miss your duty. Swadharma Charanam Sekcha Vidharma Chanivattanam Daivalabden Santosha Atmavicharanacharanam. One has to carry out his duty perfectly. But in terms of the sense gratification things, you need to limit that part. Do your duty. Swadharma Charanam Sekcha, by your complete endeavor. You need to carry out your personal duty. Vidharma Charivattanam, which is not prescribed. Vidharma Charivattanam, completely stop, which is not prescribed in the dharma. Daiva labdena santosha, one must be self-satisfied. And again, some people, Akshipta Atmindriha Strinam, Asitinam Chamaya, Raho Rachita Yala Paihi, Sisunam Kalabhashinam, Sisunam, when children speaks very nicely, we feel so much attached to the children. Raho Rachita Yala Paihi, and spending time with the partners. Okay, this is Akshipta Atmindriha Strinam, Atma Indriha Strinam. A living entity, he will engage all his senses into Strinam, Asitinam Chamaya, and the body again Kapil Bhagavan says, Passime Bhalmayaya, Strimaya Jainu Disham, the body of a human, the woman body of a living entity, it is my Maya. Passime Bhalmayaya, Strimaya Jainu Disham. So this is again very powerful statements Kapil Bhagavan mentions later on. Okay, so one has to be controlled. So here these are all temporary. These are adhruvani. They are not permanent. And then further, Srila Prabhupada, so one should not try for happiness in this world. This is Bhogeshwari Prasaktanam Tayapahuta Sheksam Vyavasayatmaka Buddhihi Samadho Navidiyate. Samadho Navidiyate. Devotional service cannot progress further when we are enjoying in this material world. Again, stressing the same point. One cannot progress in the devotional life when he is having happiness in this material world. That's why Kunti Maharani was mentioning Vipadaha Santuhataha Shashvat Tatra Tatra Jagadguru Bhavato Darshanam Yatsyat Apunad Bhavadarshanam. So this is very strong statement. And then further Prabhupada is describing how liberation is imperceptibly achieved by pure devotees and what the symptoms are have been explained. Yes, again, the symptoms of a pure devotee is prasangam ajiram pasham atmanaha kavyo viduhu saeva sadhu sukruto moksha dvaram apavurtam. Devotee means he has got only the devotees, asasanga chagi, and he is always with the satsanga only. And his qualities, Titikshavaha, Karnikaha, Suhridaha, Sarvadehinam, Ajata Satravaha, Santaha, Sadavaha, Sadhu Bhoshanaha. These are the ornaments of a pure devotee. They have got all good qualities of demigod. Yasyasti Bhaktir Bhagvatya Kinchana, Sarvaihi Gunaihi Tatra Samasate Suraha. All good qualities. They are pure. Vishnu Bhakta Smrutadayo Asuraha Tadviparyayaha. All devotees of Vishnu, they are the pure devotees. And if anyone has got, I am worshipping Vishnu, I am worshipping Shiva, I am worshipping Brahma, I am worshipping Durga, Ganesh, and so on. So that is not um, Abhyabhichar. It is called Vyabhichara Bhakti. It is Mam Chayo Abhichara Bhakti Yogena. So Krishna says, Mam Chayo Abhichara Bhakti Bhakti Yogena Sevate Sagunam Samakichan Brahma Bhuyaya Kalpate. So one has to be complete devotion only on to Krishna, nothing else. That is the symptoms of a pure devotee. For the conditioned soul, there are two statuses of living. One status is in this present life, and other is our preparation for the next life. So right now we are in this country. I am studying this education, and after completion of it, and I have to get a job. And after that, I have to find a good wife, good partner, good husband or good wife, and then later on a child. But in such a way, keep plans will increasing only. Next is accumulation of wealth, buying a house and buying other properties. It is only expanding. In such a way, some of the people, they also carry out so many pious activities. Some people give charities to get the good life in the next. So on the generally they do charities like any auspicious days, like a God Purnima, lunar eclipse. On those days, solar eclipse days, during that time they perform so many charities to get a good name, and also they wanted to enjoy next life. So that is next life. Present life is here, they wanted to be good here. Next life, they perform some pious activities. So if I am in the mode of goodness, then I may be preparing for promotion to the higher planets. If I am in the mode of passion, then I shall remain here in the society where the activity is prominent. This is Urdhvam Gachanti Satvasta, Madhye Tishtanti Rajasaha, and Jaganuguna Vrittista Tamo Gachanti Tamasa, Ado Gachanti Tamasaha. People in the mode of ignorance, they will fall down into the lower species of life. So I may be degraded to animal life or lower grade of human life. So this is the engagement themselves in the goodness, passion, and ignorance. But for a devotee, there is no concern for this life or next life, because in any life, he does not desire elevation in material prosperity or high grade or low grade life. So he doesn't worry about those things. He does not desire elevation in material prosperity. So here again, Tulayamalevenapi pinaswargam na apunarbhavam bhagvat sangi sangasya marchanam ki mutashah. What to speak of all material things, even though not even apunarbhavam, the devotees association is such a great that he does not aspire for any material prosperity, high grade or lower grade of life, because he wanted to only with the devotees and Krishna and engage himself into Krishna's. Okay. That is here, and many devotees we have seen, people who come from Western countries, they end up in the Krishna consciousness, and they are living their bodies here in Krishna consciousness so gloriously. So that is, so when automatically all senses will be calmed down, and then later on he would see the real things as they are. If I do this one, what is going to be the further reactive thing for this action? In such a way, he engages all the time in Krishna consciousness only to please Krishna. He does not worry about, he says that, Diviva Bhuviva Narakeva Narakantaka Prakamam Avadhirita Saradhara Vindhau Charanote Marane Api Chintayami. Kulashekara Alvar, he prays in the Mukunda Mala Stotra. Diviva Bhuviva Mamastu Vasu Narakeva Narakantaka Prakamam. It doesn't matter whether it is higher planetary or middle planetary systems, but even the hellish planets also. Avadhirit Saradhara Vindhu Charanote Marane Api Chintayami. Even that the last moments of my life, I wanted to always remember. That's why he also says that one of the beautiful shloka that my dear Lord, now I am in a good mood. My mind, let my mind be Rajahams of my mind, be captured at the cage of your lotus feet. But at the end, I do not know whether I will be able to remember your name and pronounce. Likewise, he also mentions one of the shloka in his prayers. Okay, that is, he prays to the Lord, my dear Lord, it does not matter where I born, but let me born even as an ant in the house of a devotee. Devotee does not harm any living entity. And because he chants loudly, Prabhupada says, even though there are no people are hearing Bhagavatam or Bhagavad Gita, you chant loudly and you chant Hare Krishna and do speak Bhagavatam loudly. There are so many insects, worms, and germs in the house. They will be elevated by the sound vibration of your chanting. This is the Prabhupada's statement. You chant, though no one is hearing Bhagavad Gita or Bhagavatam or Hare Krishna Mahamantra, you still chant loudly. There is the ant, it will also be liberated. See, that is a very beautiful statement here. And a pure devotee does not pray to the Lord for liberation from this material bondage. Okay? And actually, the pure devotee never thinks that he is fit for liberation. This is the humble mood of a devotee. So, devotee, she approached Kapil Bhagavan to get the knowledge, but she has already got that knowledge, but she is in a humble. For time being, she just appearing that she is like a Yosha, I'm Istri, I'm Mandadihi, I'm dull-minded. It is a submissive mode. It is not actually. Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami says, I'm a very lower than the worm in the stool. That does not mean he is, but he is a highly elevated. A pure devotee always thinks that I'm low. So this is, he never thinks that he is fit for liberation. So considering his past life and his mischievous activities, he thinks that he is fit to be sent to the lowest region of hell. So this is how devotees think. He is fit to be sent to the lowest region of hell, but by the mercy of the Lord, he is now living in a very opulent way. So this is, if in this life I am trying to become a devotee, this does not mean that in my past, many past lives, I was 100% pious. But here we are trying to progress. Some people, if we think that I'm already pure, then there is immediately fall down. So, but in Krishna consciousness, we always in a progressive path. That is the mode even the day before or until the moment we leave this body. So that is a devotee's mode. I am still progressing. I am still progressing. I wanted to get perfection. I am not yet. This is the mood of a devotee. Okay, so and here some people may think that yesham puntagatam papam jananam punyakarmanam tesha. Krishna says yesham antagatam papam jananam punyakarmanam ted bandha mohadir mukta bhajente amam dhruvrataha. Once he is completely purified from all the sinful activities and free from the dualities, then such a kind of person come to Krishna conscious. It is not possible otherwise. But some people, as soon as hear that statement, come to the Krishna consciousness and doing that, thinking himself that I am now free from all sin. So that is, Prabhupada saying, that is not possible. If we are progressing, yes, we have come to Krishna. This is the right path where we will just wash ourselves from all the sinful activities by hearing Krishna Katha, associating with the devotees. We are in the right path. So a devotee is therefore always conscious of his real position, that he is the servant of the Supreme Personality of Soul. That is mad janma palamidum madhakaita bhare mad prardhaneya mad anugraha yesha eva tad bhrutya bhrutya paricharaka bhrutya 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 sitimam smaralokhanada. So that is the servant of dasa 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 dasanu dasa gopi bhatta padakamalayo dasa dasa dasanu dasa, like that is his real position. So only by his full surrender to the Lord, by Lord's grace, are his sufferings made shorter. So here again, by devotional service, complete surrender to the Lord, complete conviction. How does complete conviction comes? This is follow the instructions of the spiritual master. That means it is a complete conviction. What is spiritual master instructions? Chant 16 rounds, follow 4 regulative principles associated with the devotees, read our books. Krishna consciousness. As simple as that. By simply following that, then what happens? That is full surrender. If he just I'm chanting very few rounds, that is all right. You are still progressing. We are also progressing. Thus chanting 16 rounds, still we have to internally cheto dharpanam bhajnanam bhavadavagni nirvapanam. Still purification is going on. It is just only the levels, one step, two step. Everyone is doing, but the journey is within the heart. Journey goes within the heart. How much purified he is. But outside, when he is chanting 16 rounds, then he is like a we can understand almost equal to the convicted person because he is following the instructions. Okay, that is the full surrender. So for such kind of person, sufferings made shorter. Karma nidhati kintu cha bhakti bhajam. Again, Brahma Samhita, Lord Brahma says, Karma nidhati kintu cha bhakti bhajam. All his karma nidhati, or they will become shorter by devotional service. Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. Again, as stated in the Bhagavad Gita, surrender unto me, and I will give you protection from all kinds of sinful reaction. Can anyone say what shloka is this one?
Is it Parityajya Sarva Dharmam Mamekam Sharanam Vajya Aham Tam Sarva Papebhyo Mokshami Masucha?
Very beautiful, Mataji. Excellent. That is Krishna's assurance. Masucha, do not worry. For a person who has surrendered. That is Krishna's mercy. But this does not mean one who has surrendered to the lotus feet of the Lord has committed no misdeeds in his past life. There are many people, they were previously committed, but because he is in the steady path, apichet sudracharo bhajite mam ananya bhak sadhareva samantavyaha samyak vyavityohi saha. Though he has performed misdeeds before, because he is in Krishna consciousness, he is in the steady path, still chanting, following regulative principles. Somewhere or other by unknowingly he did it, but if he is done purposefully, then he will be punished more. Again, Prabhupada has given that one. One should not take that easily. It is by unknowingly. But if he is doing purposefully and coming to Krishna consciousness, that punishment will be more severe. Punishments, we may not feel that one because we are really experiencing those pains or difficulties or troubles in this life. But one may think in a different material reasons, but actually the difference, there are subtle reasons as well. So a devotee always prays, for my misdeeds, may I be born again and again, but my only prayer is that I may not forget your service. This service of the Lord is the highest one. And the devotee has that much mental strength and he prays to the Lord, may I be born again and again, but let me born in the home of a pure devotee so that I may again get a chance to develop myself. This is the mode. And a pure devotee is not anxious to elevate himself in his next birth as well. So what happens about when a person thinks about his past life, he will always be worried. If he thinks about the future, he is in anxious mode. Both he cannot change, but what he can do at the present moment, present time, present minute, or present moment, he can chant Hare Krishna and do execute the instructions as the Lord says in the Bhagavad Gita. Do your duty and then engage the rest of the time in the devotional service. He thinks about only current. He has already given up that sort of hope about his next life. So in any life, in which one is born as a householder or even as an animal, one must have some children, some resources, or some possessions. But devotee is not anxious to possess anything at all. He does not like to or anxious to possess anything. So he is satisfied with whatever is obtainable by God's grace. Because everyone's endeavor, these pains and pleasures are already defined. It doesn't matter you become a CEO, you become a president, or you become a rich man. You cannot increase. As like we eat a morsel of food, it doesn't matter. Everyone eats just a morsel of food to fill the tummy. That's all. Then he will be satisfied. One cannot eat the gold or money or bank balances or house or palaces. He need a morsel of food, a palatable, a warm food to nourish the body. That's all. He will be satisfied. That is where the satisfaction comes. But money, even though you accumulate so much trillions of money, there will not be any satisfaction. But devotee is even without, he is already satisfied. Again, Sukadeva Goswami mentions very beautiful analogies. Why you need pillows and all, you have got hands. Why you need a bed, you have got a green grass. And why you don't need even the clothes, you have got some tree bark, everything else available easily. Which is why you need to just go and surrender to someone else and work for someone who is not a devotee of the Lord. Likewise, he says, again, those are compared to Swavit Viraho Pustakarihi Samstaha Purushaha Pasuhu Nat Kanapatopedu Jatu Nama Gadagrajaha. One should not surrender to non-devotees. So that statement is very strong. So devotee generally he is satisfied. Dayavalabdin Santosha. He is not at all attached to improving his social status or improving the status of education of his children. So this is again generally, this is where people mainly the Grihasthas, they struggle. They wanted to have social status. I wanted to show off to my friends. I have a good 4-bed house. I have got very nice, well, independent swimming pool, gym. I got some kind of so many other things they would post themselves, improving the social status, just showing off. And in another way, making the children to give good education. They struggle, even though they born in the mode of goodness, family is in the mode of, but still they send the children to the corporate schools and stretch all the finances and struggle very hard for the children's education. Okay, these are all, this is karmatmanam. People who are engaged, absorbed in the karmatmakam yena. So, but devotee is not like that. He is Daivalabdena Santosha Atmaviccharanachanam. And he is not neglectful. He is doing his duty, but he does not spend too much time on the upliftment of temporary household or social life. Because this social or no one will accompany with ourselves. So what will accompany with us when we are leave the body? So I think when one of the Yaksha Prashnas, Yudhishthira was asked by Yaksha saying that what does come with when a person leaves the body? It is the charity. Whatever you give away in this life, everything, that charity will turn into the wealth and then it will come. Dhanam will come with a person. And he asked one of the question, as soon as it takes a birth, it does not move. Can anyone say that one? One of the Prasna. It takes a birth, but it does not move.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, is it tree?
No.
Okay.
Can anyone say? It is the egg. It is the egg. Okay, once egg is comes from the womb of a mother, a bird or a snake, it does not move. So that mother needs to come and give enough heat, then only the laying bird it will come out. Okay, so here what will come with us is the charity will come with us. So he fully engages in the service of the Lord, and for other affairs he simply spares as much time as absolutely necessary. This is yataham upayunjataha. Yataham upayunjataha, as much as needed, as absolutely necessary to spend with the family. I have to cook, yes, I have to cook, and then I do on my duty. And then what else? I need to look after my children. Yes, I will give a good education, whatever they needed to help them in the studies, as much as needed, not to spending too much of time with them. Again, as much as absolutely necessary. Again, spending time with the partners and going outside. Yukta ahar viharasya, yukta cheshtasya karmasu, yukta swapna bodhasya, yogo bhavati dukkha. Okay, these are the statements of Bhagavad Gita. So such a pure devotee does not care for what is going to happen in the next life or in this life. He does not care even for family. Matkrute Chakta Karmanaha, Chakta Swajana Bandhavaha. He will leave everything aside. But because when we come to Krishna consciousness, everything will automatically set. Of course, though outside it is happening that everyone are facing difficulties, but that does not go in vain. One has to understand that does not go in vain. Anything, any endeavor you take for Krishna, it does not go in vain, but it is how we take it that matters. How balancing we are, it depends on a person, how he is progressing. So a devotee fully engages in the service of the Lord in Krishna consciousness. It is stated in the Bhagavad Gita that without the knowledge of the devotee, the Lord arranges for him to be immediately transferred to the Lord's transcendental abode just after he leaves the body. Okay, so this is without, that is the easiness. Tan mruchu atiparaye. Very easily I will make him to cross this mruchu. Again, Dhruv Maharaj, when the aeroplane came, that aeroplane, Vimanagriam, it was like a Dhruv Maharaj entered into that aeroplane. It was at the time he took the pradakshina around that aeroplane, his body turned into the golden color. And then Nanda and Sunanda, they're also glorifying Dhruv Maharaj. And then during that time, Mrityu came. Tadotana padaham, tada, there it describes Tadotana padaham mrutyoham murdheva murdhangrim aroha harehe padam. He kept his feet on the head of the Mrityu and entered into that airplane, and then airplane it has gone to the Dhruv. Okay, that is the position of a devotee. Lord arranges that one. Uttama Shloka Maulina. So that airplane belongs to the Lord. Uttama Shloka Maulina. After quitting his body, he does not go into the womb of another mother. This is Bhuyo Yata Vyasanam. Bhuyo Yata Vyasanam. It is the habit of a living entity who is engaged in Karmatmakam Yena, who is engaged in the karmic activities. Bhuyo Yata Vyasanam. It is a bad habit, entering into another room. Bhuyo yata vesnam yetad anekarandra mame bhavashri upasadita Vishnupadaha. Oh my dear Lord, I did not to go into the womb of another mother. In such a way, Vishnupadaha, I want to take shelter of the lotus feet of you. He prays, baby in the womb of the mother, he prays that now I am in the womb, I am suffering here. So many sufferings of the baby in the womb itself. It is described that he is like with too much hot blood and eating the food and then stool and urine in the etad dhatuhu asammate. Etad dhatuhu asammate. Maitre Muni says, etad dhatuhu asammate. Again, Kalpulu Bhagavan statement, he stresses that etad dhatuhu asammate. Okay, so but that's why there baby he prays to the Lord. And the ordinary common living entity after death is transferred to the womb of another mother according to his karma or activities to take another type of body. But as far as devotee is concerned, he is at once transferred to the spiritual world in association of the Lord. And that is the Lord's special mercy. How is it possible is explained in the following verses, because he is all powerful. This is the Madbhayat Vati Vatoyam Suryahatapati Madbhayat. So again, there is Nanyatra Mad Bhagavataha Pradhana Purush. There is no other alternative. Nanyatra Mad Bhagavataha Pradhana Purusheshwarat Atmanaha Sarvabhutanam. So Atmanaha Sarvabhutanam Bhayam Tevram Nivattate. So one who comes to the shelter of lotus feet of the Lord, then there will not be any more fear to him. Otherwise, one has to go through again but all is disease and death. Janma Mrityu Jara Vyadi Dukkha Doshana Darshanam. He will keep visiting those things. Okay, so Lord can execute all sin. So here he can excuse all sinful reactions. This is Krishna says, Sarva dharman parityajya mam ekam saranam aham tvam sarva papebhyo mokshishyami. So I will look after. Do not worry about Masuchaha. So he can immediately transfer a person to Vaikuntha Loka. That is the inconsumable power of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is favorably disposed to the pure devotee. Sadho hridayam mahyam sadhonam hridayam tvaham madanyatye nadhananti naham tebhyo managapi. I do not know anyone except my devotees do not know except me. This is the close and bonding relationship between the devotee and the Lord. They will be Antisa Achyuta Padam, Achyuta Priya Bandhavaha. They are very dear to the Lord. They will go to the Vaikuntha very easily. Once they go there, this is Manishtan Anbhavoye Mamalok Avalokanam Yad Bhupsutyarahasi Chakadha Padamam Tapaha. So one has to go and see. This is Varam Varya Bhadrante Vareshama Bhuvanchitam Brahman Shreya Parishramah Pumsam Mad Darshanavadihi. This is the ultimate thing. Pumsam Maddarshana Avadihi. After Brahman Shreya Parishramah, so much of struggle of in this material world, working for the Lord. Brahma's meditation, he was engaging in tapasya. Lord says, you ask any benedictions, but know that what is the best benediction? Brahman Shreya Parishramah Pumsam Maddarshanavadihi. Come to me and engage himself in the devotional service. That is the topmost thing. So you can ask any benedictions. Now, after knowing all these things, what would Brahma would ask later on? Of course, he has to execute, he has got a duty to carry out creation of the material world. Okay, so, but while engaging in his duty, and he asked also benedictions that at all the time to remember the Lord, engaging and free himself from mode of ignorance and passion. Okay, that is Brahma's prayers. So pure devotees, when they are engaged into the service of the Lord, Lord is very pleased and he is favorably disposed to pure devotees. By that, Lord can give liberation very easily, but he does not give devotional service that much easily. Sukadeva Goswami says to Parikshit Maharaj. Okay, so there he says that one when he was speaking about the Rishabhadeva. Okay. Okay, that is from this purport and this shloka here. One should not worry about happiness in this material world for the next world. He does not have to think about those things, and then work only for the sake, for the pleasure of Krishna, for the pleasure of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So Gaur Purnima is coming. Okay, so one can execute his devotional service and okay, following rules and regulations, chant Hare Krishna. Rules and regulations, follow the rules and regulations associated with the devotees, read scriptures, Bhagavatam, Pipata Bhagavatam, Rasamalayam. Okay, drink the juice of Srimad Bhagavatam. Pibanti Bhagavata Atman Hasatam. Katamrutam Sravanaputesh Samvrutam. Punantite Vishe Vidushatasayam Rajanti Tacharana Sarorhantikam. One who drinks the nectar of Srimad Bhagavatam, they will be completely punanti, purified from Vishyan, all the materialistic things. And then Rajanti Tat Charana, they will go to the lotus feet of the Lord. Okay, that is the only desire of the devotees. So Bhajancha Twamata Eva Sadho Vyudastamaya Guna Vibramodhayam. Vyudastamaya Guna Vibramodhayam. They do not worry about it. That is the only thing. This is Prithu Maharaj says, Nimitta Manyat Bhagavan Vidmahe. They take the shelter of the lotus feet of the Lord. Bhautpada Smarana Sar Bhautpada Smarana Drute Sadam. Nimitta Manyat Bhagavan Vidmahe. They do not have any desire except to chant your name. That is the devotees. Bhajinchata Twamata Eva Sadhavo Sadhus. It's a very beautiful statements of Srimad Bhagavatam. It nourishes our soul, our life, which is what Krishna is saying here. Okay, I stop there. I request dear devotees, if took few minutes more, it will never ever stop on time. If you have got any questions or you wanted to share anything is taking your mind or your anything to share, so kindly ask, kindly share. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
It sounds so beautiful, the path to liberation, if you want to call it, or path to peace and happiness. We had a devotee at the temple who fitted all the beautiful description you said. He wasn't attached to material things, and he attended the temple a lot, just Mangalarti, dancing in the temple. A lot of people know him. He was so beautiful. Anyway, he didn't get initiated because he had strong beliefs in Christianity. That's where he came from. So he was a devotee before, in a way, practicing good. He was high natured, good natured person. And he didn't have anything really, and he passed away recently. He had pains. He collapsed in the temple, which was a good thing, I suppose. And he didn't want to go to the doctor in the material world, and he used to offer incense stick to Tamal Krishna Maharaj, because he lived in a little chalet at the back of one of the devotees' house. Of course, he paid rent, but he was working doing different spiritual kind of activities, and he was found sitting with his arm folded, looking at Tamal Krishna Maharaj. Um, he passed away about 24 hours before he was found. And he had no money, he owed rent and everything. Yet they put a little thing in the temple. He was so loved, and everybody knew his activity. They didn't make a big thing out of it because he didn't make a big thing out of it. And the money that was raised was 5,000 within a day. And if they had left it longer, it could have been more, just to help towards, his departure, and in a nice, decent way. And soon the landlord is taking his ashes to India. So his personality and his activities fit exactly what you were preaching about, how we should be. But we are in the material work. We work, and we get caught up in demands in our lives. I can't see how we can practice that totally without deviating from your family life and connection, relationships, and so on. But it was a beautiful way to go. It was so nice.
Yes, Mataji. Yeah, it is for men. They have got more opportunities, but women, Mataji, they need to stay at the gruha, and then carry on devotional service like Devhuti Mata, staying at her home itself. But though in the all opulent home, and all very nice, the beds and pillows, very opulent thing. And in that home, she was carrying out her devotional service as Kapil Bhagavan described. In such way, she left her body. But whereas Kaddama Prajapati, he left home. That is his duty. After 50 years or sometime, once when the next generation is able to take up the family, then he has to move on further.
I'm just saying, we don't really appreciate these individuals, but it shows by people's reaction afterwards how well he was loved and appreciated. Because there were kirtans, about 4 kirtans arranged for him, his beautiful send-off. The funeral was amazing. The stories were the same from everybody, how he was. It was so beautiful. And I knew him well because I used to give him a lift to the temple. He didn't have any car or transportation. And It was so amazing.
Definitely his path to the Lord, it will be clear. So if he has, again, Prabhupada similarly, he was explaining one of, I think, Jayanand, I think one of the foremost disciples of Srila Prabhupada, when he left his body by the cancer. So if you still have desire, you will be taking birth among the higher regions, higher planet systems and enjoy, and then you will go back to Godhead from there itself. So likewise, here also, if devotee is completely free, then he will go back to Godhead unless he has got any desires. Otherwise, he will enjoy and then go back further from there itself.
Yeah, but I think you mentioned about not having the desire to go there with to be with Krishna, but at the same time striving to be born in a better home. It's a bit confusing for me because I think we all are striving to go back to Krishna.
This is by nature. So this is by nature arranges that one. If we have performed some pious activities, we take a birth. Suchinam Shrimatam Gehe Yoga Brashto Abhijayate. Krishna says, Yoga Brashto Abhijayate. If it is not successful yet, he will be taking birth in the Suchinam Shrimatam Gehe, Brahmana's family, like that. Otherwise, he will go back to Godhead if he is completely freed. So here, Imam Lokam Tataiva Amum. Amum is the next. Imam Lokam in this planet. Atmanam Ubayayanam. Okay, so likewise, one should not have to worry about it when he is engaged in the devotional service. Simply carry on.
But one can skip all that and and attain the highest, can't they?
Yes.
If you desire, you can thrive towards it.
Yeah, yes, when we have got something in our hand, it is our wish, we can throw it, or if I want, I have got attachment with the thing to carry on. It is my desire. So that desire attached. That's why Krishna says, Eshamaham Atma, Eshamaham Priya Atma Sutasha, Suhrudo Daivamishtam. Establish this connection only to me. Na karijit mat paraha shanturupe, nakshantinomi animisho lady hetihi. This connection is very strong. It will never ever be ruined. Make the connection to me. You will enjoy all appliances, whatever you wanted to enjoy in this material, but you do not desire for by yourself. It will come automatically. This is Mam Pratyagatmanam Ihavarunde Ato Vibhuti Mama Maya Vinstam Aishwaryamastangam Anupravrittam. There it is. Lord says everything. So, but one should not. If I possess some house and all those things, I'd not go to the king's palace and live with him to eat all the foods what king eats and associate with him. I have to stay back. If I do not worry about these things, I can straight away go there. Just simple attachment where I need to establish my relationships.
So you can be humble, as you say. You don't need a bed if you got grass or the ground. You don't need a pillow because you got your hand, as Prabhupada said. That is humility, isn't it?
Yes, Mataji.
So this is what we should do: practice humility.
Yes.
Very well.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Okay, any other questions, dear devotees? Jai Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you so much for the wonderful class. And my question might have some elements from what Chanukanya Mataji was saying, but also the 2-3 things happening here. So when you said the devotional service is given by the Lord, we don't develop it. Is that correct? Or the devotional service is given as a mercy, as a gift to us? Obviously, we then work hard with our sadhana and everything. But so then I'm thinking, if that is given by the Lord, then we should not be wasting anything at all, any time, surely, by doing other things. But my question mainly was on that first paragraph or second paragraph of the purport, where it says you should not be enjoying and everything. And what happens when you don't want to enjoy, but yet because you are in a grahastha, then you have to maybe please other people and end up doing things that maybe your heart is not in there in the first place, but you have to do it. What advice would you give, please? Thank you.
So here Krishna says, Kapil Bhagavan says, Mat krute tyakta karmanaha, tyakta swajana bandavaha. He would live. That is, mayananena bhavena bhaktim kurvanti ye dhudam. Very strong devotional service, unflinching devotional service. But we do not have to please other family members for the sake of pleasing. But as a matter of duty, we have to swadharma charanam sektya. One has to carry out his duty properly. Is it duty? Properly. It is not we need to just appreciate even though it is not needed. Appreciating is required, but when they are doing their duty, and when they appreciate more when they are engaging themselves in the devotional service. And just for the show off, we do not have to do anything for the show off purpose. If it is a duty, we do it. Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Is that clear?
Yes, it's a bit confused.
Still confused.
No, it's okay.
So, for example, for example, if I am a woman, I have got my husband, then what is my duty? I have to please my husband. That is my duty. It is not doing something, it is a duty. For a woman, husband is the most priority. For example, what is example? And Sati Anusaya Mata. She looked after her husband more than even the gods. Even they appreciated her by her chastity. Okay, that is for a woman, husband is the topmost because she receives all kinds of appliances, blessings from the husband itself. It doesn't matter husband is working or not. Just because of presence of husband, she gets everything. All the, the woman's wealth, like the bindi or tilak and all these things, bangle, so many of these things. Everything comes just because presence of husband. It is the duty of a Mataji to serve her husband. So that is a duty. And though sometimes husband says anything, it is a duty to carry out the instruction of husband. That is a rule, dharma. Son has to follow the instruction of the father. Wife has to follow the instruction of a husband. That is a dharma. And disciple has to follow the instruction of the spiritual master. That is dharma. And also mother has got a responsibility to carry out the instruction of a father and then look after the children. That is a duty. There are duties. One should not think like outside of the duty. That is a duty. A mother, Mataji, most of her engages her time in the duties only. Though it is not Krishna conscious, it may not directly say, but it is actually duty, carrying out the duty. There are women does so many duties at the home. All Matajis multitasking. It is not possible for the Prabhujis. So it is possible only for Mataji. They have got that gift from the Lord. Hare Krishna Mataji.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you. And I understand it better.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
So what if the demands from your husband is wrong? Because, okay, first of all, I think we need to look at what does serving mean.
Yes, Prabhupada has given that instructions as well in the Srimad Bhagavatam purports that if your husband is like a demon, stay away from husband and you do not have to serve him. But if you are able to live far away from him, but you do not marry another again, you engage yourself in the devotional service, but you stay far. That's all. You respect him, but you would not serve him. If he is a demon, if he is a devotee, or if he is a normal husband, you serve him. Likewise, Prabhupada says. But woman does not marry another person, look after another alternative husbands like that, not looking. But when the husband is good, then she can come and then serve him. But if he is a demon, she can stay far away and execute devotional service. Prabhupada has mentioned.
Yeah, I'm thinking about if he's not a devotee, you have a duty to respect and care for each other. I hope, because we women are mostly should be respected too. But I'm just thinking, if in this material world, the best, you should be encouraging your partner to do things and move and not just be there and be served all the time, because movement is health. It's not it's not something that is a bad thing, because you're trying to encourage your husband to do some activities, perhaps keep going, so that they don't get more stagnant and ill and so on. So that's what I'm thinking. I think you mentioned something about devotional. I'm not sure, but I would like you to clarify that. Devotional service is a form of charity. Is that right?
Devotional service, it is to please Krishna.
Yes. So you please Krishna by your serving your husband as well, or your partner. Our activity is a pleasing one to Krishna.
Yes.
So Krishna would be pleased that you're trying to encourage your husband or partner to do things, and not especially if they're not a devotee.
If he is not a devotee, but still it is our responsibility, though materialistically, but not a demon like a horrible, but is a normal husband. We need to render service unto him. Because of his presence, we get all protection, home, children, everything. We respect him.
Yeah. That's a hard one. I mean, to become that pure and that sincere, when you as you mentioned, a woman is having to carry so much.
Yes.
We're multitasking all the time, and even multitasking.
That is God-given gift to the Matajis.
Yes. Yeah. Okay, I know you have to make the most of it and try again.
Yeah.
Yeah. Very well.
Thank you, Mataji. Gayatri Mataji, hand lifted. And then...
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. I was just thinking, Prabhuji, about what Javed Mataji was asking. So I had an example to tell her, like my daughter-in-law's Nani is initiated for almost 35 years, and my daughter-in-law's parents are not initiated, but they are more into like materialistic life, like social life. But Nani did not want to come to Canada at all, but they forced her to come to Canada. She's always very happy going to Vrindavan and Mayapur, always traveling here to all the ISKCON temples, and she's very, very happy there. But because of them she came, and she's my very big how should I say it, my inspiration, Prabhuji. And when she was here, everybody were watching TV. She sat in front of the TV, but her mala was there in her hand, and she was still chanting constantly. Didn't say anything to anybody. She did not escape from there. She did not get into a room and closed her doors and start chanting. She was with everyone all the time, but at the same time, she used to wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning and chanting her 16 rounds and doing Gayatri. And after that, she will just have her mala all the time in her hands, and she's constantly chanting. When people are talking, she'll just smile and she will just say yes, yes, or whatever, and she's constantly chanting. So she was one of my biggest inspiration. So that's what I just wanted to tell Jai Mataji, because this helped me a little bit, like we have to live here, but at the same time not to be too attached. But I'm nothing actually. I was thinking when you are telling all this, I'm thinking God, I thought when my son was born, I'm like, oh, this is God's given responsibility. God's given responsibility. I have to take care of him. I have to teach him the right things, to do the thing. As a mother, I have to do my duties constantly. In the process of doing my duties and taking care of him, like Yashoda Mata, how she got so much attached to Krishna. She is so lucky she got attached to Krishna, but I got attached to just my son, I guess. So it is very hard, Prabhuji, like not to get attached.
When we got the child name as like a Krishna, Rama something. Rama, come and eat. Krishna, come and eat. Come and do this one. Likewise, when you show the affection, because though we are addressing names like Narayana directly, it will go to the name.
Yes, Prabhuji. Yes, it is very hard. Like, yeah, it is not easy. Saying is easy, but when it comes to reality, it is very hard to detach and to completely detach and to attach to Krishna all the time, which it's a big process. Yes, as you said, we are all, especially me, I'm in the process. So please, everybody bless me, whoever are in the call, and to be more.
You will become a pure devotee of the Lord.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna. That's all.
There are some devotees. When the husband and wife, they are devotees, they will go progress in the life very nicely. And if one of them is not yet, then opposite, then other person become pure devotee of the Lord. So likewise, our devotees, they glorify the devotee. Other devotees glorify the devotees. Thank you so much, Mataji, for sharing that first time.
Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Any other questions, dear devotees? Okay, so if there are no further questions, thank you so much, dear devotees, for kindly sharing your pastimes associating with us. Okay, we shall conclude our session.
Hari Bol.
Let's do three Hari Bols, yeah. Hari Bol.
Hari Bol.
Hari Bol.
Hari
Hari
Bol.
Bol.
Hari
Bol. Thank you so much, Prabhuji.
Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai.
Rupi Jai.